Welcome to Yes Also. I'm Suzi Barrett, and my guest today is one of my favorite people and improvisers, Ryan Gaul. You know Ryan from shows like Superstore and The Last OG, and as one of the stars of Bajillion Dollar Properties, the absolutely genius improvised reality TV parody. Ryan came up through Improv Asylum in Boston, was on Herald teams at IO West for years, is a Groundling, and he tours with Ben Schwartz and Friends and Comedy Bang Bang. You'll get to hear how funny Ryan is in this episode and what an incredible improviser he is. He drops into scenes and bits effortlessly. And in part 2, he tells a story about the funniest improvised moment that ever happened on Bajillion Dollar Properties. And it honestly made me laugh so hard that I was red in the face and crying and had drool coming out of my mouth. And you know what? I'm not embarrassed about it. You can listen to part 2 by becoming a subscriber over at yesalso.supercast.com, where you will get double the content, Q&A episodes, lots of other perks. Boy, is it worth it. Okay, and without further ado, here's Ryan Gaul. Ryan Gaul.
I froze up.
You froze?
I immediately froze up.
Hey, remove all notions of pressure.
Yeah.
Let's start over.
Okay.
Ryan Gaul.
I froze up again.
God, I just can't stop freezing up. I've known you for years.
Yeah.
We used to share a Herald night at IO West.
Those were the days.
Those really were the days. When was that? Like 05-ish, 06-ish?
I feel like it was right in there for like God knows how many years.
For a stretch of years, that is.
Yeah. And then it just, well, I guess IO got in a car crash.
Well, that, and then it went bankrupt.
And then
I think,
it went bankrupt. Wait,
Sharna was like bleeding
is
money,
that
and yeah,
the way it went.
I think car crash happened first.
Car crash caused.
No, car crash did not cause.
We don't know that.
If anything,
we don't know
I
that.
have a conspiracy that says Sharna was in disguise and crashed into IO.
Yes.
Yeah.
She said, somebody spotted her at LAX and she was like, at Alamo, what's your cheapest car?
Yeah.
And she just raced down Hollywood.
Put a helmet on. For listeners who don't know this story, I don't mean to be making light of a car crash, but like somewhere around like 2017 or something, or 2016, or maybe earlier.
Yeah.
A drunk driver in the middle of the day crashed into the. Maybe they were sober.
She was drunk?
Sharna was drunk, yeah, just unrelated.
I get emotional.
But in the middle of the day, they crashed into the front of the building. No one was hurt. But people were hurt. People were hurt financially and emotionally because the IO had to shut down for a little while. But then it reopened. But right?
God, this is stuff that it gets so foggy
it
after
really
like
does.
2008. I'm like, the timeline, you could tell me that was 6 months ago or it was 2014.
We used to share a Herald slot. Your team was Powerhouse and mine was Sweetness. And then we ended up mashing up into one team called Sweeter House. I've always loved playing with you.
Yeah. When we had Powerhouse and we were, it was like Brian Gallivan, Gareth Reynolds, who the hell else was on?
Steve Berg.
Oh my God.
Just truly like a lineup of all the funniest
Jason
people.
Fredericks, I think, was on there. Just like, I think about it now and I'm like, oh wow, that was, and then doing it before you and like Jim Woods, who I had never seen improvised before I came to LA. And I was like, you know how you kind of have that, like, who are these guys? Let's watch them. And then I'm like, holy shit. Jesus Christ, they're really good. Oh my God, how'd they learn that? They spent years and years in Chicago? Oh, okay. That tended to be the MO of somebody who was really much better than I was. I was like, oh, Chicago.
Do you feel like you played sports growing up? You're like a rugby guy. Among other things, right?
Yeah,
wrestling.
I was like guy.
You were a guy.
I was like generic guy.
Yep.
I wasn't good really at sports, but I played everything. I wrestled and rugby were my favorite because
yeah.
it was like you didn't have to really know anything. You basically fought.
You're a human shield. You just like run into stuff, and you're always covered in bruises. And
yes,
you get a varsity jacket out of it.
Not a ton of drama club.
No.
No.
So when did all of this enter into your sphere?
I tried in high school to audition for school plays.
You tried?
I tried.
Let me in.
Hey, come on. I'll fight people.
You have to, sir, you have to take your wrestling singlet off.
No, I don't.
Yes,
Prove
you
it.
do. Read the sign.
It's painted on.
Your singlet is painted on? Okay, that's why it's all right. Yeah, just fully, I just
tight.
see your junk. Yeah, I'm looking at a painted dick. I'm going to go to jail. You have to leave this theater.
It was Mr. Azaretti who was
Azaretti?
Azaretti.
Huh.
He was nice enough, and I was so jealous because he was the only drama teacher at this school in Maine, and he was also in charge of auditioning for, whatever it was going to be at that time. Hello, Dolly. And I'd be like, I can play Dolly. I'd do anything to get on the stage. And every time he was like, I don't think you're ready.
Oh, wow.
Or like one time I got put in the chorus. Huge victory for me, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Like, there are no small parts, only small actors.
That was a pretty small part. And I'm not sure if I was even acting. I think I skipped most of the rehearsals and just showed up on the night, and they were like, stand over there and hold the spear.
Just move when everyone else moves.
Yeah.
And
But in high school, I did do a thing called, we were at the Lincoln Academy, and so everybody called us LA, and they had the LA Players. Have I ever told you about this?
No.
It's so weird. It's not weird. It's kind of nice. We would go from school to school in Maine, which sometimes was like an 8-hour trip.
Yeah.
And we would put on shows and improvise. This was my first time improvising. Improvised scenes around dysfunctional families and drug addiction, alcoholism.
And you were improvising them.
And we were 15. And so the scenes would be like, I'd have to play the dad, and I'd be like, well, I've had 9 drinks. I guess I'll go driving. And then the other kids would be like, but Dad, isn't that illegal? And there'd be like 4 more lines, and then we'd break out and go like, how's that make you guys feel? To the audience.
Damn.
We thought we were so cool.
I mean, this is a genre that I love breaking into in an improv show. I love turning something into a school assembly or like an after school special where it's like, wow, that seemed rough for the woman, like where you're suddenly doing like a morality play.
Yeah.
Now let's replay it and see what happens if Justin listens to her
What is that voice we do? Is that just generic narrator?
It's that genre. Yeah. It's
fun.
It's presentational, like, I grew up in like a Christian church, so that it's like that. It's like youth pastor, instructional.
But it's also got like a hint of like Dateline host or something.
Because it's so distant. It's so over rehearsed.
I'm not part of this story, but I'm going to ask you some questions about it.
Yeah.
Is really the
gist.
Yeah.
Wow. We, in like the span of 3 minutes, we went from, not a lot of drama club to, I was a part of the LA Players, and we traveled from coast to coast in Maine.
It was coast to coast in Maine. But I never considered that like acting or anything. It was just like a fun way to get out of school for the day.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it was so I was like pretty square in high school, but several of the people in this LA Players were clearly smoking weed and drinking beers every time we'd finish a show. And I'd be like, God, there's something very ironic about this.
You got to use it. You got to use what's there.
You have to.
Use it in the...
Sometimes you don't choose who's on the Herald team.
Right.
Especially in the beginning.
I mean...
a couple people who have ideas for games that are real out there.
Did those performances ever go awry, or do you have any funny memories of like questions from the talkback sessions or anything like that?
I can't, it's so long ago. I don't have specific memories, but I can remember it being real hit or miss. Like some audiences of like, the entire school would come and watch this. And some of the schools were like 1,500, 2,000 people. And to hear the difference between like rock star cheering and then go to the next school and it's just like
single
chirp.
cricket. Yeah. Yeah.
Chirp and just feeling like, quick, go to Jamie, go to the heroin addict scene, quick.
To make a bunch of 14 and 15-year-olds trudge through these dark topics.
We didn't have any
improvising.
Training. No training, nothing.
And the director's like, you make up the words. You say what it's like to be an abusive household. And so that was your first improv
That was my
taste.
first experience with improv.
And then when did it start for real?
Then I went off to college, did a bunch of dramatic, like really dramatic, which I'm always like, I couldn't get cast in high school. But when I went to Stonehill College outside of Boston, they were like, sure, you can do whatever you want here. And I was like,
sure, you're Uncle Vanya. Sure, you're Richard III.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. And I did them. I don't know how, because I wouldn't like memorize lines. I'd wait till like the night before the play and go like, I think I got that gist. I think I got the gist of that.
We can wing this.
I was so bad. And then I think finally my senior year, I was like, I'm going to put some effort into this. And I had a good time. And I was like, this is fun. And my director there had a meeting when you graduated, if you were part of the theater department, you would have a meeting with her and she would kind of like say goodbye. And
say goodbye.
It sounds sweet, but
because you're graduating. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. She'd say goodbye like, and ask you, and then we're going dark again.
Yeah, shit. No, okay.
She would say goodbye, and I remember her saying, I was like, I think I really like acting. I really like enjoy it. And she said, I don't think it's for you.
Jesus
maybe,
Christ.
Swear to God, she goes, maybe soaps.
Wow.
And I go, oh. And she goes, pretty good money in soaps, but you got to be real fast with your lines and stuff. And I remember thinking like, I'm not fast with lines. I hardly even look at them.
Right.
Like, I'm getting them in the world. But so I left and was like, well, I'm not going to be an actor. And then I remember going into Boston and I saw a show at Improv Asylum, and it was like meeting the girl of your dreams and just being like, holy shit.
It turns to slow motion as all these people in like crayon colored t-shirts are like creating a car and doing a cowboy voice, and you're like, that's the girl for me.
Perfect.
Improv.
They're doing A all the way to Z in 2 minutes.
So why are you talking so slow?
That's the date I'm with.
Yeah.
Which I was on a date, and she immediately became, God, that was a good one. I was in a good mood for the rest of that night. No, I saw that, and they didn't have class. It was so new, they didn't have classes, so I had to wait like 6 months for them to have a class. And I was so naive and ignorant that I didn't think like, oh, New York probably has classes. Chicago might have a class on improv. I just thought, well, I got to wait here and I'll keep my bank job. And
you worked at a bank?
Yeah, I worked at a bank.
What'd you do at a bank?
I worked at, I think I can still say it. I was like,
you don't have to name names.
Hi, this is Ryan Gaul. Thank you for calling U.S. Trust. How can I help you today? I said that all day long.
So you're like a phone
I was like
receptionist.
A phone teller. It was customer service for a bank called U.S. Trust.
And you loved it.
Loved it. And the guy who sat next to me was this probably 6'8" Italian gay man who convinced me. One day he just came around. We never talked. I didn't talk with anyone. And he just looked around the corner and he was like, "Are you an actor?" And I go, "No." And he goes, you're going to be, and you're going to move to LA.
Whoa.
I didn't know what LA was.
This man has too many
His name was Charles.
Character games. He's hugely tall, he's Italian, he's gay, and he's a psychic. And he works in a bank.
Yeah. He sounds like just a cartoon.
Before you leave the house, take off one thing, you know?
I was just like, no, I never thought of it again until I was like, oh, I'm going to LA. And I was like, oh, Charles told me I'm going to go to LA. I put it together. I mean, it probably is nothing, but it was crazy.
I love it. It is a bit of it's like you were owed a remedy from the poison that was injected into you by the woman who is like, you're never going to do, this is not for you.
Yes.
Maybe soaps.
Yes.
You know?
I've thought about going back to her and killing her. I've thought about going back to her and saying like, you ruined so much of my, like, if I had the confidence, all you had to say was go for it.
Because
give it a shot.
This comes up sometimes on this podcast, people being like, yeah, no, you're not going to do it.
Right.
Not for you. And it's like, what's it to them? Well, even if they really think that someone is not suited for something, be like, if you're passionate about it, stick with it. Go for it. Follow your dreams.
And how do you know, especially with what we do, like, I think improvisers can be pretty judgy of others because we're scared and we're competitive, and you have to remind yourself like, no, we're on a playground on stage. Like let's go crazy. Let's go crazy. And I've been surprised so many times with people that I'm like, I don't know, especially teaching. You're like, I don't know. And then they just pop and they get it. And they're like hilarious and skilled and patient, or, put together out of the spectrum of a million things you can possibly have to be a great improviser. And they can suddenly have 6 things that come together as a puzzle that make them amazing.
Yeah. And it really does happen like that, where it's like one click of the Rubik's Cube suddenly aligns what used to be a jumbled mess, but like suddenly they get enough reps that they're comfortable and confident, and all of it comes together. Yeah. So how did she know? And even if you weren't heading into improv, even just acting, like, she didn't know. And also, screw her, you're a successful actor.
Well, I don't know about that. Next week I'm going into soaps. I meant to tell you that. I buried the lead.
I'm going into soaps.
I do. I don't know. I hate the idea of saying I'm a successful actor, but I know that I've made it this far doing what I really just loved doing. And I feel it's so cheesy to say like, I feel so thankful that I can do it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh God, I feel so bad for somebody that's stuck behind a desk for 40 years doing God knows what, because I truly don't know, except for what Charles and I did.
I truly don't know what happens behind desks.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah?
I really truly don't know what people do when they're like, well, I do finance. And I'm like, so you're going to have to give me more?
I'm going to need to get more specific
you work
there.
With numbers, you make money.
Let's zoom in.
I make money. Am I in finance?
I'm in finance. I just paid for my gas.
Yeah.
I'm in finance. Let's stop here for a second.
Yeah.
When you play people in improv scenes who have office jobs, are you throwing jargon around? Are you trying your best to guess at,
Absolutely.
What does this sound like?
I try to get out of it as fast as possible and move to the whatever the scene's going to be about. But it'll usually be like, Daryl, can you get me the Hancock account, please? And I'll work on that. Or Cynthia, you're not going to believe this. The Adeline contract was canceled.
No.
Yeah.
That's 30% of our share for the
40%.
first quarter.
It was 40%.
40%.
Apparently, Mr. Adeline is not happy with one of us.
Did he say which one?
He said you.
He did?
He called you out.
He said Cynthia.
He said both of us, but he said you first.
Okay,
Cynthia and Frederick.
But he said both of us.
Yeah, but he said you first.
So you're saying that means that he thinks it's my fault because he...
That's business rules. Whoever you say first.
lady.
That's business.
So looks like I'm getting promoted and you're getting the trapdoor.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's very like, here's the files for the blank account.
Yeah.
We need the blank report.
I don't know what else. Do you know?
No. And in fact, I've had people, like friends of mine with office jobs, have come to shows before and been like, it's so funny to watch you try to pretend to be in an office.
Yeah.
Because I've just never had an office job. I've had a lot of shit jobs, and I was a server for years and years and years.
Oh yeah, I did that as well.
So
I can do that. If I get put in a restaurant, I'm like,
Bubba. We're filling ramekins.
Everything's
we're cutting
86.
lemons. Yeah. I'm in the weeds.
Yeah.
I need you to cover my section.
A manager visit at table 4.
Yeah. My 6-top got turned into a deuce. And
you got to work a double.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A split shift. Oh, my God. All day long.
I need a food runner. I need hot hands.
Yeah. You need me to rip out like a special for the day. I'm like, today we have a chicken piccata with dressed in capers and a lemon butter sauce with a garlic mashed potato and string beans.
Can you tell me about this wilted spinach with balsamic reduction?
Of course I can. That is farm to table. That is grown literally on our porch.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I heard that that there are VIP tours where we can see like the herb trays. Oh, my friend she's like an Instagram influencer.
Oh, she must have come to that starts next week.
Oh.
Yeah, you can sign up, but she's not supposed to be talking about that. Can you give me her name?
Well, now I'm scared too, but
you should be. And what's her name?
Sophie Star 86 is her handle. She goes to restaurants that run out of things.
Sophie.
Yeah, I love it doesn't it feel cathartic to play servers now and be doing roll-ups as your object work.
Oh, you know what? As you're saying this, I'm like, this is why I also love playing customer service, like on a phone or a desk, to be like, hi, this is Cynthia, how can I help you? Love taking problems from people
because that's what you did, right? Yeah.
So, and being weirdly positive about them, or like, that's always so fun to me.
Like now you can find, what psychologically, if you were to like therapize yourself right now, what is fun about doing the thing that you used to do for real and hate, and now you do it for fun, or you pretend to do it?
Yeah, I guess it's because I had to do it, and now I can sort of make fun of it. And possibly, like, you're not technically making money off it, but it's part of your career.
Yeah.
To now take that horrible thing that you had to do for so long. I mean, I remember being so poor doing it too. So I'm like, even if I was still poor, which, when we start improvising, I think it's one of the poorest industries in
sure. If we really want to crack down on it,
It's not
worse than soaps.
Yeah, not a ton of money.
Yeah, it's funny. Like maybe some of it too is like, because when you did it, the feeling of I have to do this shackles all of it in that like constraint. And now it's like you get to choose to do it, and also you can choose to have it go any which way you want.
Yes.
So there's a freedom of like, if I want to blow up on this customer, I can. If I want to be super kind and find something funny in that, I can. So the control element maybe.
Yeah.
You know what's wild to me too is like I reflect on this sometimes, that like when we're kids and we play pretend, we are often playing cash register or teacher, or like I'm going to work.
Like going out with mom or dad.
Yeah, kids love to pretend like packing up a suitcase and doing trip logistics, or
so
like
true.
Being in an office, and
or just being like mom and dad, or and being like, oh, you've been a bad boy,
right? Raising a baby, like the first toy girls are given is like, here, pretend to be a mother.
Yeah.
Like
some of the best improvising takes place between the ages of like
1
2 and 8.
Yeah.
Where they don't care how bad they are. They take their time. They are
really
so patient.
Take their time. They really
the callbacks
listen.
are rampant.
Yep. A lot of third beat connections.
Yeah. They don't even believe in beats.
No.
They'll have a 9-beat scene.
That stuff is trippy.
Yeah.
They're going for hours.
You need game? Screw that. You don't need game.
No. Break all notions of game and get gritty, my man.
But there is tremendous agreement.
Oh, yeah.
If you're playing with a friend, it's like, oh.
Because if there's not, you're in a fight.
You're in a full-blown fight.
Yeah.
And you don't get cookies.
But like imagine like little you playing office or desk job as pretend when you didn't have to. Then when you have to, it sucks. And then as soon as you're done with that, you spend a career being an improviser pretending to do it again.
It's really...
What the hell?
That is weird. We used to play school bus.
That's
two
fun.
sisters and brother and I, like on snow days or a weird Sunday, my sister would be like, everybody in the bus, and we'd get in the bathtub and she'd be like, where do you want to go?
That's really fun.
It was fun. We'd do for hours. I'm sure my parents were like, thank God they're in the tub.
Yeah.
Stay in there, lock the door.
Just contained. Yeah. No wonder you called it a weird Sunday.
It was a weird...
You know, on a snow day or a weird Sunday.
When you're Catholic, and I'm not Catholic anymore. I think I never was Catholic, but when you're raised Catholic, Sundays were weird.
Were you good at improv as soon as you started, or did it take a while?
Suzi, I was very bad. And I think it has led to what, like, eventually I lean on the most is just dumb confidence. And I will stay with anything anybody offers and just be like, oh, I have usually two people on a train can make anything work. So I'm like, I'm your side car guy. I will do anything on stage with anyone. No problem.
You do have that, you're calling it dumb confidence. To me, it reads as just abject fearlessness. Like you have such a courage on stage where you're like, you know what? I'm going to triple down on this weird thing.
It's all I have. Well, but going back to what you asked, if I was good when I started, no, I really regret not like learning more about improv around the world because I had this small little bubble in Boston where I was learning from people who probably went through the Second City training center and that's it. So I was getting that stuff secondhand to me. And so I was like, okay, well, I know the 3 rules and now I'm done. I guess I'm perfect.
I graduated.
At
improv.
Yeah, I graduated.
Call me a greyhound.
Yeah,
I'm going to soaps.
But I just it blew my mind when I eventually like drove cross country and I went to Chicago, and it was probably like the second or third time I'd even been to Chicago. I hadn't gone very often, and the times I went before, I saw like 1 or 2 shows, and I was always like, God, they're really good, really sharp, and they work. The thing that I admired was like, oh, I don't work as a team. I'm just trying to get out there and go crazy.
Yeah.
And I realized like, oh, the show really works when there's a group with a group mind. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying anybody's going to be like, wow, Ryan, that's really interesting.
No,
but
hold on. Did you just make up that phrase? What did you say? Group mind?
If you can believe it. I just can't. That came to the top of my head.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. But I ended up staying in Chicago for like almost a month on my way to LA because I was like, I can't stop seeing shows. And I every show I saw was just better and better and better. And it was almost like this mini class I took on my way.
Just from observing the shows.
Just from observing.
Yeah.
I didn't do one show.
Do you remember what the shows were, or like moments that you saw, or things that...
I would go to like the Herald night and just go through everybody was there. I remember when I finally got to LA going like, oh yeah, I've seen you. I saw like TJ and Dave. I was like, I was like a dog that tilts its head and is like, how? But wait a minute. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so...
They are
I mean, it
such
was
magicians.
Next level.
Yeah.
But there were several teams like that. I think, is it possible I saw The Reckoning?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
they did the
possible.
same thing where Was that Honeycutt?
Yes,
Yeah.
Honeycutt and POB or now Mike O'Brien.
Yes,
and
Brad,
Holly Laurent and Brad Morris.
Yeah, and I
Brian
remember
Jack.
Yeah. I remember thinking the same thing about them, where I was like, God, they're so fucking good.
Yeah,
they're so good. I want to be like that. And I debated. I was like, do I stay here and just like take a year of classes? But I already had all this stuff lined up, and I had to get into commercials.
Had to. Laura Sue was tapping her foot, waiting
like,
for you to.
Where are you? I have a meeting. Print those headshots.
Why did you like? What was the pressing stuff that you had in LA? And
it wasn't. At the end of the day, I just sort of said like, well, what am I looking to do? And I wanted to get into TV and film.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this love affair with improv. So I knew that was always going to be a tool that I needed to hone, because I wasn't great at acting alone. I loved improv for some reason. If you give me a script, I can learn it and do it. But I felt the confidence I felt when somebody would be like, just play with it. I could feel this like,
yeah. It puts you more in the moment, because for me anyway, instead of being married to the lines and what you know is coming next, you're in a state of surprise and connection. You have to connect to the other person because that's your lifeline. So
and I'm surprised more people, especially with cold readings or like when you get a script the night before, I'm always surprised when people aren't like, you can be a little loose with it.
Right.
Because it's impossible to like get into character and have this backstory and really connect with a script in under like 12 hours.
Right.
It was too, at least for me, it was too hard. I would focus too much on memorizing lines and I'd forget to actually act.
Yeah.
But if somebody said like improvise, I'd have to act because I'm coming up with it, and I had this. There was more energy behind the lines that were coming from my core.
Right. Your instinct is leading the charge, so it has to feel real because it is real. Because it actually is coming out of that moment.
Yes.
Yeah. I even find like even when you do sit with a role for a long time, or you have like several seasons of a thing, the words on the page are really hard to own sometimes, or to fill them with whatever that is that makes it that you're actually saying it.
Yeah.
And improv takes all of that work out of it. There's no work. There is just instinct and listening and connection.
Because you will say it the way you would say it.
That's right. And on that note, can you just reword what you just said?
Group mind.
Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you.
Speaking of when you said like you'll confidently go anywhere or stick with anything to be like the sidekick to someone.
Yeah.
You and I did a tour show in Santa Fe in New Mexico.
Yes.
Shout out to the Santa Fe improv community. They were awesome.
They were awesome. And holy shit. Improv.
Yes. And shout out to Holy Shit Improv.
Casey, hope you're having fun. Where is it? He's here. I don't know when this.
But he's about to go on the road. He's somewhere.
He's somewhere.
But you said we like had a night after one of our shows where we like hung out and chatted about improv for like 4 hours.
Yes.
And you were saying this like beautiful thing. You were like, I will go. You're like, my only superpower in improv is that I will go so hard with you. Like I'll go anywhere you want to go. And I will not let up, and I will like.
I will not judge you.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, I think that's changed over the years. I think when I first started, I'd get, there's always a moment where you can freeze and go like, I don't know what they're asking of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to kind of change gears and figure it out. But if I get it, if I like, I know what you want, I don't care what it is. I'll be like, yep, we're dissecting frogs. I'm going to dissect the frog harder and bigger than you, and we're going to figure something out together. But
do it harder and bigger than you.
Harder and bigger.
My frog's going to be more dead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be.
He's going I'm going to dissect him fast. Maybe I'm just really competitive. No, I love like building chaos together rather than like giving it out by myself.
Yeah. And that's the fun of it, right? It's like looking into what someone's doing and finding what's fun and playable for you to jump onto and being like, oh, I can add this.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, let's go. I've seen you I've done some tour shows with you. I've seen you jump the wall into the orchestra pit and then start climbing over people in the audience just very calmly. I think that one was you were giving a wedding speech.
Oh my God. No, I said something really mean to two people. Didn't I say that they weren't going to get married
I had
remember. I said I'd go apologize in person.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. But these very committed, very big swings, and you never break, you never wink, you just keep this calm Ryan Gaul demeanor, and you just own everything you say with this very calm voice.
Dumb confidence. Dumb.
I love it.
No, I think it's really, it's so fun to having that confidence is it sometimes feel, because you do it as well. It takes a second sometimes, and you can't panic in the moment where an audience is going no,
right,
no. But I feel 90% of the time, if you keep pushing them, eventually they go,
okay,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Yes. It's so odd, isn't it? It's you have to not be rattled by the panic or judgment of an audience. You can't let that turn into your own panic or your own. Yeah.
We had at that same show.
Oh.
I mean,
that was a weird
there's
show.
Some weird shows, but you know what? You get going back to when you start and when you're, when even in Boston, we did touring shows and whatnot. And our touring shows were a bar in Connecticut where everybody made $35. And there were 3 guys that did not know there was an improv show going on. And we'd be like, hi, we're Improv Asylum. And we're going to start out with a little montage of scenes just to get us warmed up and you warmed up. And they'd be like, shut the fuck up. Please. We're trying to talk over
My friend just got divorced and we're doing shots. Okay. We'll take that as a suggestion and use it right before your eyes.
And we're going to rhyme.
Why?
Why are you going to rhyme? Because it's improv.
The voice you were doing there sounded like the Jurassic Park. I'm Mr. DNA. I'm Improv Asylum.
I wish I could.
Baby dinosaurs.
I want to claim that as my own.
Please start using it.
Should.
It's been long enough. No one will know.
Think?
Yeah. Look,
I just did, I guess. So.
You're a genius. You're the guy who came up with the phrase group mind.
Ryan Gaul. I'm going to start claiming that.
I want to talk about, because you are a groundling.
Yes.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And mashed up with that, or at the tail end of that, I want to talk about going from sort of that style and IO style into a more UCB style of play, because you tour with Ben Schwartz and he plays very game based. And I want to talk about what it was like for you to kind of integrate that and learn that.
Sure.
But first, let's do Groundlings.
Yeah. So somewhere at around Sweeter House, 2008, 2009, I had started classes at the Groundlings. And for those who don't know, Groundlings is much more character based, and it's really a writing track. It's improv for sure in the beginning, but it's only 2 levels of improv, and then you're into this writing track, and it's character based writing. Very different. So a lot of people, how you've got Second City, you have IO, you have UCB, and then people go, and you have the Groundlings. And I'm like, I truly don't believe Groundlings is an improv theater. I think it's a writing theater. I think it's a comedy theater, a sketch theater, but you're not going there to scout amazing improvisers.
Right.
That said, you will find amazing improvisers. I've seen some of the best improvisers I've ever seen on stage there. But
that's just not their main course. That's not what they're pretending to be. Yeah.
Like if you most of the people who are really comfortable improvising there also do it at a ton of different theaters. It's just sort of like, Thursday nights they do short form improv there, and Wednesday nights they do a long form show. But even those have a different flavor than traditional Chicago style or UCB game based improv. So I always hated it when people would be like, "Oh, Groundlings," and it's as if we're like, I don't want to. I'm not trying to claim we do improv. By the way, I'm not. And I really try to, when I go into a different theater, respect whatever the style is that they're doing there.
Yeah, it's all valuable. And it's all part of the same comedy, under the same comedy umbrella. And
totally.
Like, why not learn a different facet of it and improve your own sensibilities? And
yes. But when I teach at the Groundlings, which I don't really do anymore, when I taught, I used to tell people,
welcome them by going, "Welcome to the Groundlings."
Welcome to the Groundlings Improv Theater. No, I value what they teach there. It's a real core idea of character-based improv. But I would tell them, go to UCB, go to IO, go to Second City, go watch a ton of improv in other theaters, because you're gonna see the differences, and that is only going to make you a stronger improviser, no matter where you end up, a stronger performer. And there's a reason when people are moving from like our writer's lab, which is where they do a one night performance and a monologue and maybe a scene or two, and then they go on this wait list to get to the next level. There's a reason we usually say like, go take acting classes. We don't say, now go take improv classes at other places. Not that they shouldn't, but the point is, the higher levels of the Groundlings, we don't improvise at all. I mean, if you go to a Sunday show, which is the highest level of the Groundlings school, there's no improv there. And it doesn't mean, again, that there aren't amazing improvisers
right,
in the Sunday company.
But the focus there is sketch and developing original characters.
Yes.
It's like the place that Pee Wee Herman was born, right? Like Paul Rubens made that character there. And
yes.
A lot of like Will Ferrell's SNL characters came out of there, and it's like a sandbox for making original stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And SNL comes there and like poaches, they poach.
They poach eggs.
They'll come in there and poach eggs, which we're always like, stop, Lauren. Stop poach.
You're wealthy. Go buy an egg at a restaurant.
Like, I like make myself.
It's the action. It's how I claim my territory. We have a couple of great Lorne impressions.
We got to take that on the road. I did that thing where I started it and realized I can't do it, so I just abandoned it.
And I got your back.
You leaned into it.
What I came in with was, I'd like eggs.
I can do that. I'm not sure. No, I can't even do it. No.
He lives in the same place in my mouth that Alan Rickman does. Well, listen, I'm Lorne Michaels.
Alan Rickman goes a little further back.
And Lorne has a little more tongue in the front.
That's pretty good.
Little more tongue.
Little more.
To be clear, my Lorne impression is my impression of Dr. Evil that Mike Myers said was inspired by Lorne.
That's all of ours.
Yeah.
That's all of ours.
We're real watered down. Okay,
I when I started doing more, even when I first got out here, IO was great because it kind of set this base for me of like, more patience, and you don't have to like, a scene doesn't always have to be such, insane energy right from the top. You can kind of figure it out slowly and that can be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the Groundlings is more like, nope. You jump in there, dogs, and let's get the fight going right away.
Drew Tarver said like the crux, the thing they teach at Groundlings is lights up and It's like as soon as the lights come up, the audience needs to know like what your deal is.
Yes.
That is wild.
And you know what's interesting about that is it's for a writing brain to go like, we wanted you to know so you can write about it eventually, or like let the audience know even when you're writing, even if you're taking your time on the page, there you can set clues and let an audience know. But it is interesting, and I know that is the outside perspective of the Groundlings is like, Jesus Christ, man, let it breathe. Let it breathe. And the good improvisers do, but because it's taught in such a way, you can see some real
stink bombs.
Real stink bombs. But you see stink bombs at every theater.
That's true. Yeah, and especially teaching improv. It's like, and no shade on people who are learning to improvise.
Nope.
We all had to go through years and years of doing stink bombs.
You got to be bad.
You got to be bad, and you got to be bad with people and in front of people.
Yes. You have to have reps of being bad.
Yep.
Because then you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
When you do something wrong, it's so much easier to be like, oh, that's why they tell you not to do that.
Right.
As opposed to like somebody just being like, we'll never do that. And you go, fine, I'll never do it. You will never be good at improv. You'll never be good.
You got to go through the bad.
You got to be shitty.
For part 2 of this episode, go to yesalso.supercast.com. If you like this podcast and you want double the content, head over to yesalso.supercast.com and subscribe. You can also help us out for free by subscribing to us on YouTube and talking us up to your improv communities. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer in one of our Q&A episodes, or a topic that you think would make a great bonus episode, put it in a 5-star review. If you're a theater who would like to host us for a live recording and improv show, let us know at yesalsopod@gmail.com. A very special thanks to our producer, Ryan Rosenberg, audio and video editor, Brian Kessler, and Britt Faye, who does our marketing. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. No, we won't, Suzi. That's not how podcasts work. They won't even see us. They will listen to us, so it's actually the opposite of both things you said. Thanks for listening, and you will listen to us next week. Maybe. We don't know.